Today's video will be the start to the trail damage repair series. So let's get this thing started. Now, for those of you guys who are new to this channel, my name is Carl, and this channel is dedicated to all things mods, DIY, and engineering for your second and third gen Tacomas. So make sure you smash that like and subscribe button already, guys. Do it now. Do it! This is the complete damage report from a total of 3 trips at Anthracite. And I'll basically start from the front of the truck and then go around on the driver's side and go underneath. And this angle clearly shows that the motor is cocked more towards the driver's side front, so that motor mount is definitely blown. And here's another trail repair we did. Probably saw that in the vlog where we just moved the shroud downwards to compensate for the motor basically dipping forward so that the fan doesn't hit the radiator. So definitely have to repair that, but we were still able to limp the truck back home with really no problems. And here's the driver's side fender. The wheel well liner did get ripped out, so we'll have to fab up a new wheel well liner because I am planning on cutting these bigger so I can compensate for these bigger tires, because this does slightly rub onto the ARB bumper and a little bit on the body. That wheel well liner is actually very important since it keeps the water from going in here and pushing this fender out, and that's basically what happened. Once there was enough accumulated damage on that wheel well liner, there was enough water that came in here and pushed this side out. So I basically just have a rope that's holding this fender in place, and that was just one of the trail repairs that we did. So I will definitely need to do a much more thorough repair on this when I got really close to the tree and try to take a tight left turn. So the tree scraped here, and then when I made that left turn, my back end slid into the tree, basically dented this door. This shouldn't be that difficult of a job to repair. And what it does is actually gets the handle like basically stuck in the open position. So I have to push it in order to get it to close. Now this mini rack here did hold up pretty well for road use and a little bit of the beach dunes. Like, there was no problems. But when we were bouncing up and down very hard on the rock trails, the tie down system that I had ended up just basically loosening up, and the spare slid pretty far back and off the rack. And this actually ended up bending pretty far down too, where it was touching the tonneau cover. So I'll definitely have to re-engineer this, but for regular daily use, it works fine, to be honest. So I'll have to redesign this, reinforce it a little bit better, because I do like this spare tire idea here, where it stays low to keep the wind resistance down, and I still can use this tonneau cover. Like, I really like that idea in execution when we were out camping. Now from this angle, you can probably see these brackets bend down, which is pretty much what the whole testing portion of the work is for. So we can see how far the strength is and the flexibility is of these 1/8 inch plate. Now, moving back to the bumper, we can see the damage that I did take here. This was from taking a tight turn on the trails, and I backed up very close to a tree. I have been planning on ripping this out anyway and putting on a whole custom made flatbed conversion. So guys, stay tuned for that. Now, as far as the passenger side goes, there are some damage here from the rocks on the trails on the slider, but that's what that's for. There's a pretty nice dent here too, but I think that was from Vermont from last year. And there is a dent on this fender as well. So we do have some more sheet metal repair to be done here. And the wheel well liner started caving in on this side, but it's wholly intact. It's still
fastened pretty solid to the subframe, so I think that's okay for now. And here's what the front skid plate looks like, guys. You see it's pretty mangled. It's in multiple places, but mainly here. So definitely need to upgrade this. And I definitely did mess up this jack point a little bit, and that's definitely from a rock hitting it from one of the drops. But that's okay. Probably weld on a new one. Looks like we also have a leak here on the passenger side CV axle. So we'll definitely have to replace the seal there. And a little bit of a leak here on the driver's side CV axle as well. So we're definitely going to need to do some seal replacements here in the front end. Now for this cross member that holds this front diff, it looks like I did scrape up the bottom of that cross member. So it's not really that bad, but I am going to have to put some underbelly armor on this truck. Same thing with the cross member for the transmission support. Definitely best the bottom section of that as well. Now this is the passenger side of the frame that mates with that transmission cross member, and it looks like that got peeled up. Here's the passenger side frame that's basically right under the passenger side front door. Did bash that pretty good there too. Now it looks like one of the rivets that hold this part of the frame together. This is what it is. These are all sandwiched pieces of steel, and that one rivet basically sheared off there. So, I'll probably just put a nut and bolt through there. And here's another one too, guys. The center support bearings pretty much sheared off of where it's supposed to hold the thing stable. It is supposed to have some play, but yeah, it's completely settled to the bottom of this thing when it's supposed to be more centered. And here is the rear diff. As you can see, she's leaking too. Now it might be a little hard to tell from this angle, but this leaf spring perch is cocked by probably about 5 degrees. So this isn't exactly, like, these bolts are not completely parallel to the ground. There's a slight bow this way, since yeah, there's definitely a lot of force that's getting pushed up this way when I'm slamming on the rocks there. And you could probably see it better on this side of the truck. This is the passenger one. And same thing here, this bolt is not completely parallel to the ground. So here is the towing harness for the lighting system for any trailers. And I've sheared this bracket off in Vermont a long while ago too, and I just haven't gotten around to repair it. So I'm using this converter, which basically changes from a 6-point to a 4-point towing harness. I'm just using that as a cap so that we don't get any water on there. But definitely another thing to repair.
So that pretty much wraps up the details of the damage on my truck. And overall strategy would be number 1, first get my truck to a safe rolling status. So that means to replace those motor mounts and the transmission mounts, as well as address some of the leaking issues in the front and rear diff. The next would be to reinforce some of the weaker areas of the truck, such as the rear spring perches on the leaf springs. And I'm sure that as we dig deeper into fixing these issues, there will be more issues to discover along the way. So stay tuned as we get the truck back onto the trails. And that's all we got for this video, guys. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button already. Till next time, peace out.